Do you think now that this is absolutely, almost criminal, really? I mean, what is going to happen to our elderly population who are desperately in need of care, and indeed the workers who are supposed to look after them?
Hi, Patrick. Yeah, it's, well, the whole thing is a mess, and it's been a mess for pretty much all the time I've been in the sector, which is over 20 years now. And despite repeated promises by the government to deal with it, this, I have to say, I think this, I beg your pardon, the issue here of the investment of 500 million being cut to 250 million is a bit of a red herring, if I'm perfectly honest with you. I think the funding issue for social care is much, much bigger than that. We have a crazy system in this country where if you break your arm, you rock up at A&E and these days wait a long time. But generally speaking, you turn up and you just hope that the queue isn't too long and somebody will fix it. But if you end up with dementia, you end up in a horrendous situation where you don't know how you're going to be cared for and who's going to pay for it. And you're quite right that we've got a situation now where we've got a huge problem with recruitment and retention in the sector. And there's no surprise, it's a very difficult job. We've got some amazing people doing amazing work and being paid way less than the average pay for people in this country, which is around about £15 an hour. And at the moment, the real living wage is about £10.90 come April.
But look, what is the actual
way bigger
effect?
Than this.
What is the actual effect of this going to be? Because I don't know how this adds up. We've got an ageing population, we've got a growing population, and that, for me, would mean that stating the bleeding obvious is that the adult social care sector needs to be well-funded and people need to be looked after, or we need to have a national conversation about the fact that you are going to have to change British culture, essentially, and live with your in-laws and live with your parents in their dotage. And I don't think we're doing either of those things. What is coming around the corner here?
Well, Patrick, you've hit the nail on the head. We can't, if we wanted to go back to the situation where families looked after our elderly, which is great, lovely, fantastic, we have to recognise that productivity in this country is going to drop dramatically at a time when we need to be working harder and increasing productivity if we're going to get out of the financial mess that we're in post-COVID. You know, so you can't have everything. You can't have people giving up work to go and look after elderly relatives and still have the products and services and an economy that we want as a first world country. You know, we've got to try and encourage a conversation around what we're prepared to pay for people and not leave local authorities who have no money whatsoever to try and fund social care. The big issue for me has always been funding. Funding needs to be central. And it needs to be set across the country nationally. If you are an elderly person and require residential care and you're in, for example, Knowsley or Manchester or somewhere like that, you're going to be funded to the tune of £500 a week. And you know, if however you live in West Sussex, we'll get £950 a week to look after you. It's a real postcode lottery depending on where you live. And remember, I mean, if you think about it, £500 a week, how can we pay a decent rate to our workers if we're getting £500 a week to deliver 24/7 care?